Haman is ready to help whenever Sister Geraldine calls for him. Today, it's gardening. The daily labour at the monastery helps the young Iraqi Yazidi get his mind off the fear of being deported. According to EU agreements, he would have to go back to Romania, as that's where he entered the EU. But he claims to have been abused by the Romanian police.
I wish I could leave the monastery premises as a free human being, without fearing that the police would arrest and deport me immediately.
Haman and 5 other refugees were granted church asylum in the Dominican monastery. Here, they're safe for the time being. The nuns provide food, shelter, and they give German lessons every afternoon.
Und?
10 vor 3.
Ja.
Previously, rejected asylum seekers like Haman, who sought refuge in a church, almost always had a chance for a second hearing. But recently, the federal authorities reject nearly all such applications. Since church asylum regulations were tightened last year, Sister Geraldine often doesn't know how long the refugees have to stay to be safe from deportation. And sometimes she has to turn down refugees seeking help.
When asylum seekers came here, broken and devastated, lying before me crying, and I had to say, we haven't got enough space, there are too many, I thought, my God, this is hell. I won't be able to carry on.
Her engagement is viewed with skepticism by politicians in Berlin like Thorsten Frey, who deals with domestic policy. Church asylum will be respected and police force won't be used to get refugees out of church asylum, but lawless spaces won't be tolerated.
Church asylum is just an additional right for reviewing cases. It's completely wrong to think that such requests by parishes are automatically approved. That would be absolutely unacceptable and contradict the rule of law.
This puts pressure on Sister Geraldine. She's contacting other parishes that offer church asylum. There are about 450 in Germany. Together, they want to resist a new rule which requires refugees to live on church grounds for at least 18 months to avoid deportation. That's the deadline for deportation to another EU member state.
When they receive this letter, your deadline has been extended to 18 months. Most of them fall into a deep hole. I've also had people say, I'm leaving, I'm going to another country. Some fall into a long period of depression.
I think it's a shame that in a constitutional democracy, we need to grant church asylum to so many people at the moment. Mistakes happen. Recently, a judge told me, we judges aren't infallible and need church asylum as it acts as a humanitarian corrective.
Haman has to keep waiting in the monastery. But his brother has been granted asylum and can go to school in a neighbouring town. Whenever Haman speaks to his family in Iraq, he's worried. 5 years ago, around 7,000 women and children were enslaved by the Islamic State in Iraq. Many of his Yazidi relatives were killed.
My uncle too. I can't go back to Iraq.
Sister Geraldine wants to stand her ground. She's adamant that Haman and the other refugees are staying in the monastery until a solution is found.
Our maxim is, whatever you do to the least of my brothers, so you do unto me. We always say that we live according to the gospel, and this is the practical application.
Haman isn't Christian, but he keeps being drawn to the monastery's chapel out of gratitude and admiration. He's aware that without the sisters and their strong belief, he might not be in Germany anymore.